That's a decent transition. So now it's a little more of a blend going from the bass guitar, right, transitioning into when the keyboard player is playing the bass, right? So we want that to blend. So number one, we can control the volume of that bass better on the keyboard, right? And then also remember, on keyboard, he was playing bass in his left hand, chords in his right hand. So we use that technique to split the track and let one track represent the lower frequency by using a high pass filter at 161. And then on the other track, which was a duplicate, we did just the opposite. We did a low pass filter at 161. So check it out. And I might have said that just the opposite, but you get what I'm talking about. I know you do. And if not, just keep watching, keep following along, subscribe. We're going to make sure we explain it all as we go. Yeah. All right, there's some sections where the snare is playing a rim shot. Playing a rim shot. So what I'm going to do is just go into those sections. And I can tab in Pro Tools to the transients. The transients are the spikes in audio where you can see there's something happening. And I'll break it there. And I can just go here and I can literally just use clip gain to turn that up some. Nice. And I can see those sections where that's going down. So what I'll do is just go into each of those sections and break and just turn them up. So I'll turn it up 6 dB. Bam. Let me go over here. Same thing. Same thing. Right here. Break that track. So B is the quick key to break in Pro Tools. Go up 6 dB. Same thing here. B, boom. Break that. Same thing. 6 decibels. And then let's see what's going on here. Same thing here. And I've already listened and I can just kind of look at it and I know what's happening. But I think what I did that time, I turned that whole section up 6 dB. We don't want that. Turn that. So I can see where there's those big spikes or those big transients. I can see that that's when he's playing the snare, the head of the snare, not the rim shot. See, all of this is the head of the snare. So let me bring this back down to 0 dB. And when you're using clip gain in Pro Tools and you want to be precise, you can hold down Command, and that way you can get precision and get exactly where you want to be. Because I want to be back at 0 dB. And then I'll come back over to this section here at the end. Same thing. I'll split that, turn that clip gain up just for the rim shot. Come here, B, turn that up. And that should, yep. So now let's see what we got here. And now let me create a reverb bus. I'll do a reverb bus for sure. So let me go to track, new, and buses in Pro Tools start with aux tracks. So I'm gonna make a stereo aux track and I'll name it reverb bus. And then the input of a bus is a bus. So I'll go here, I'll go to bus 5-6 and I'll rename it verb bus. I could have named it reverb bus. Then I'm going to put the reverb on this track. I'm not going to put the reverb directly on the tracks I want it on, I'm going to put it on this bus. So I'll take the reverb time to 2.5 seconds, take the snare out, the balance out, I mean, to about 60%. I'll do a 10 millisecond pre-delay on this one. And so this is my reverb bus. Any track that I want bus on or reverb on, I can just send to this bus. So let me just go to the snare. I just felt like I wanted a little bit of reverb on that. There's my verb bus, and let's see what's happening. That's too much, of course. I'm going to solo this reverb by holding Command and S. I guess it already was, which is solo isolate, so that now that bus itself is already soloed, so I can solo the snare, and that reverb bus will also be soloed. It's not too bad. And I'm going to throw some compression on that snare now. Hey, throw some compression on there. Dynamic. I'll do a 2.5 to 1 ratio. I'm going to do a 50 millisecond attack. Keep my release at 80. And let me go to the section where he's actually playing, because when I'm going to set my reverb up, I mean my compression up, I want to be in an area of the track where it's loud, where whatever I'm compressing is the loudest, so that I can look at how much compression is happening and make sure I don't over compress. And you know what I'm going to do? Like these toms, I'm going to put these toms on their own bus, because I'm going to just put some reverb on those toms as a whole. So those toms have like this really deep sound, right? It's really deep guttural sound when they play. So I'm going to make a new bus, which starts with an aux track. I'm going to call it tom bus. And let's assign the input. I'm just going to go to one of these that was already assigned, but I'll rename it. And I'll say this is my tom bus. And so what I can do now is select each one of those toms. And right now, remember, they were going out to the drum bus, but I'm going to hold Shift and Alt and send those to the tom bus. And you can see now they're all on the tom bus. And then I'm going to send the tom bus out to the drum bus. So the toms are still going to be grouped with the drums as a whole, but I want to take this tom bus. I want to put some reverb on those. Right, and I want to go to a section where the drummer is doing his thing on the toms. Let's see, and let me just solo those as well. You see, you can hear where that cable was probably bad, and you hear that little bit of static going on one of the toms. And again, we're going to live with it, because listen, when the record's playing, who's noticing that? 98% of the listening public isn't going to zero in on those things that most engineers are going to be, have a headache about, right? And so I try to keep it loose. If I was in the middle of the session and I heard that, I would definitely change the cable, without a doubt. But when you look at things like mic bleed, or you look at certain imperfections that might happen in a recording, I mean, when that song is playing, a lot of people are not noticing. And so if something has already happened, is after the fact, I'm not going to have a conniption about it, All right, so that's one section. Let me just listen through and see when the toms are really doing their thing. Okay. All right, so let me go throw some reverb on those. Okay, let's check it out. And see, for me, I'm gonna turn the reverb down just a little bit. For me, I'm starting to just really just feel the essence of this band. I'm starting to just feel the groove, feel like I'm there with them. And so to me, this mix is shaping up. It's shaping up nicely. Um, is there a such thing as a perfect mix? I don't believe so. I believe that lovers of music, fans of music, are listening for the performance, right? Obviously, as engineers, you want clarity for the most part. You want to think about the genre that you're working on and mix in a way that's consistent with that genre. But engineer is equal parts science, equal part arts, equal parts spirit. You want to feel it. And so that's how I always love to approach it. Let's put some reverb on these congas.